Hey everyone, I'm gonna be making some coffee and then we can get started. I'll be grinding up some of this Farmer Brad coffee, whole bean coffee. I'll be back. Okay, I got the coffee brewing now. Thanks for everyone that is here tonight. Hope you're having a wonderful evening. And thank you for the ones that entered the giveaway. Um, if you're new to my channel, I'm Farmer Brad, and me and my family, we live on just under 8-acre homestead in east central Indiana. We raise chickens, and we have a couple ducks, a couple geese. We have Katahdin sheep, which are a hair sheep that you don't have to shear, which is nice. And have a high tunnel, which due to the wind, I already knew that in the springtime I was going to have to replace the top plastic because of a rip, and I ended up this wind ended up busting out sort of the front door. So my hope is maybe doing something like Justin Rhodes did to his high tunnel. I really like it's based off of the Poly Designs book, where you put some wood boards, running boards, about 3 or 4 high along the side. Then you put cattle panel, and you secure it so that that space can be used for pigs as well as chickens during the wintertime. So that would be a really good use during the wintertime for a whole bunch of chickens. And just a reminder, this is one part of the giveaway. This is a heated chicken water bucket. This is the most premium product that I make and sell on my website. I do have limited supply of these, partly because it costs quite a bit to get all the parts and everything that I need, and so I'm only sitting on that a limited amount of inventory in order to move these along. But it has a float on the inside, and that is for during the summertime. You can refill it with the garden hose, which allows you to hook it up here. Now during the wintertime when you're manually refilling, one thing that you can do is you can, this has quick connects, and you can just disconnect that so that it doesn't get in the way. But my tendency would be, if I took that off, then I would lose it. So just put it somewhere safe. And then the electrical cord at the bottom is zip tied in position. That's for the summer months. And let's see. So during the wintertime, you can heat it up. Plug it in. It uses 60 watts, which isn't very much. And then that heats up the base. And then that keeps the water from freezing for these water nipples. Then you can easily take it off, manually refill it, inspect it, hang it, or sit it on a cinder block. And then the other item of the giveaway, this is one package deal, is a Clyde's garden planner. We'll be giving that out. So the way that people entered was they went to the 1,700 subscriber giveaway video, and then they left a comment down below, and yeah, I'm not sure what happened with Southern Blessed Homestead. It says message deleted by the Google moderator team. This sounds pretty high up there. So right now, let me double check and see who we have here in the chat. We have City Girl Country Heart. We have Southern Blessed Homestead and Two Family Homestead. Welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome. So let me bring up what people had to do in order to enter to win. So they went to this video, the 1,700 subscriber giveaway, heated chicken water and Clyde's garden planner giveaway. And they left a comment down below with that they wanted to be entered, and that also what is their favorite Farmer Brad video. So I populated those into a spreadsheet. Whoa. Hold on. Wow. I zoomed in too far. Let's okay. Let me fix that. Okay. It is back to a little bit better. So I'll zoom in. So we have Lori, Hal, Tabitha, Shrek. Sorry, I'm probably pretty bad with names. And Hub City Homestead, City Girl, Country Heart, Michelle Burns, Roxana Broiler, Priscilla Richardson, Little Mountain Life, and Ride Along. There was another one that was from Texas, but they said that they should let a northern win it who has to deal with the colder weather and stuff. So yeah, now the videos that they said that they enjoyed was Ride Along said, can a 35-foot hole be repaired in a high tunnel? And Little Mountain Life said solar upgrade for the farm stand. And then I think Priscilla said solar for the farm stand as well. And then Roxana, sow the land, make a 5-gallon chicken water. Now that was at Homesteaders of America conference. And let me see if I have that up. That was when I was able to, I probably should get a YouTube premium account, so I can skip the ads and stuff. Let's see. And I am back there. So, this was when Jason from Sow the Land was at Homesteaders of America conference, and he had Sow the Land 5-gallon buckets, and I told him, hey, I'll convert one of your buckets into a automatic chicken water bucket. I had all the stuff with me there, and I ended up doing that as sort of like a live demo, and that was kind of fun. This was my raw video footage that I had captured, and then I had made it into Sow the Land's vlog from Homesteaders of America, and that really sort of launched my channel, getting a whole bunch of views as a result of that exposure. And Jason was really nice, and Penelope was there, and Lorraine, and they were all there. Just a great, awesome family. And it was also cool to see how the filming style was. He has a really wide angle lens on that camera, and so it's very forgiving. You just kind of aim it in that general direction and stuff. Now at HOA, my goal was to put it together as fast as I could so that I didn't give away any secrets. Make it look really simple, because I mean, I'm selling these automatic chicken water buckets, and what people are paying for is the knowledge of these parts go well with the other parts, and such. So people are buying the complete package so that they can just pull it out of the box, hook it up to the garden hose, hang it, sit it on a cinder block, and they are good to go. Let's see. Another person had mentioned the hidden costs of pasture poultry, and that was just a video that I made at the farmers market, and I just discuss just like the fee of the booth, also having to have $1 million business liability policy in order to sell frozen meat at the farmers market, and had to get a county health permit in order to do it. So there's a lot of costs even before you buy the birds and before you get them processed. Yeah, so let's, without further ado, we got 9 people here, which is great, since I'm still fairly new to these live streams, but I'm trying to get better as things go. And as far as I know, I did just want to make you aware that the super chat is enabled. So that is another way to support the channel. And let me bring up the spreadsheet so you guys can see everything. So I have a number associated, 1 to 9, with the names, and Google has this nice little spinner, and I'll say 1 to 9, and we're spinning. So number 9 is the winner. Sorry, I didn't realize that it was going to spin right away. I was going to build up the suspense a little bit more. So let's look at number 9. The winner is Right Alongside. Congratulations on winning. Make sure to email me at let me put it in here. You can email me, brad@farmerbrad.com, with your address and phone number, and I'll make sure to ship this out to you probably later this week. And congratulations. Let's see. So other videos that people enjoyed was the solar upgrade to the farm stand. This one kind of worked for a little bit, and let's see. So in this 5-gallon bucket, I have a solar powered, or a solar battery. I have a charge controller, and the goal was to have the solar panel charge enough power to run a Wyze camera. And my thought was it would be a good way to monitor inventory and be able to update the website accordingly as people come by to the farm stand. And then the camera has two-way audio features, so I could also answer any questions that they had. And then on the farm stand, I had a QR code that people could pay a specific amount for PayPal. And yeah, so that ended up working. And Wyze camera, Wyze, the company that makes the camera, they actually came out with an outdoor camera, which I have, and I was quite disappointed, partly because you have to have a smart hub that communicates with the camera, and that distance is very, very, it almost has to be on the inside, and then the camera's just directly on the outside of the wall in order for it to make a connection. But they did come out with the version 3 camera. This is a version 2 Wyze cam right here, and then they've upgraded it to a version 3, which I don't have one on hand, but I definitely recommend get the version 3. It you don't have to buy an extra case. It's weather resistant, and it has USB-C charging capabilities. Now, we have a couple roof-mounted antennas from previous ISPs, and so I definitely want to explore using power over Ethernet to mount some Wyze cams various places that I don't really want to do a full-blown outlet. And so let's see. Yeah, so if you're just getting here, the winner of the giveaway is right alongside, and they won the heated chicken water and the Clyde's garden planter. And if you are interested in the chicken waters that I have to offer, they are available at farmerbrad.com. And this one is the 2-gallon. It has 2 gallons with the float valve, and it refills automatically. This is the heated chicken water, so $82.99. Now I'm on winter pricing, so I've lowered the prices down a little bit, but you're going to have to cover shipping, just partly because during the winter time, usually California or Washington or Nevada ends up buying those, and those end up being the most amount of shipping. And then this is a great option, the 4-gallon, especially for the winter time. You can drop in a heated element in there, and then you don't have to refill it as much in the winter time. Let's see, City Girl Country Heart asked how much those cost. The security cameras, the Wyze, they are pretty much about $20, and then they have local storage, so they can take a micro SD card inside of there. And then what's nice, oh, we got a super chat. Let me, where is it? Oh, no, no, no. Streamlabs was just telling me that Avish ended up subscribing. So thank you for the sub. Cool. Sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained right now. But yeah, the Wise Cam, they really bring the price down. Now they're introducing some services to where you can have added features for a monthly fee, but bare bones, the system works pretty great, and you're able to access it on your mobile phone. Now, I have an elderly grandmother, and I ended up setting up 2 cameras there, and that helps me to be able to monitor and check on her. Um, let's see. Okay, someone's asking about the Peterson chicken tractor digital plans and its pre-order. I apologize. I still need to finish editing the build video. I have the 3D model all squared away for this chicken tractor plan. I have the 3D model, but what I need to do is go back and do the step-by-step for to have it match the build video. So you can lock in a low price of $3.33, and a third of that sale goes to Lisa Peterson, who lives in Canada. I came across her design, and with her permission, she said that that would be fine for me to make some plans and then sell them on my site. But I kind of simplified the design a little bit just to make the building easier. They are an 8x8 chicken tractor, about 2 feet high in most places. At the peak, they're 36 inches high, and they're pretty light. I like them because they cost about $130 to $150 to build, and you're able to fit more chair than the John Siskovich. And the John Siskovich is a great chicken tractor, but you have to use half lap joints, and you have to you can't fit as many chickens in there, and it costs about $250 to make. Now I don't know what the price of the lumber is with COVID, but it's probably pretty pricey. Now, with my setup, I had the 3 chicken tractors. I had the John Siskovich chicken tractor, and then these 2 Peterson chicken tractors. And the John Siskovich one I added a 15-gallon water tank to, and then I had them daisy chained to the other 2. So at one point when I was super efficient and things were going well, I could do the chores for those 3 chicken tractors in about 15 minutes. But let's see. Let me go back to this video, and I'll play this while I go get my coffee. So this is the high tunnel. So yes, the tape did fix it. I was lucky, and along this seam there was enough slack that I could pull it in. But shortly, like probably a month after this major rip, there ended up being another section, and I decided instead of spending $60 more on tape, I should probably just buy a replacement. And there was 1 year left on the warranty, so I think I was able to get the new plastic for um, I'd say like $250 or something. But also in this process, I learned that I had my plastic way too loose. That the wind, we get some incredible winds. Like yesterday or 2 days ago, we were getting winds probably about 50 to 60 mile an hour because they just come off of this field. And so I decided instead of buying more tape, I would just buy new plastic. And I'm holding off until the spring to put it on because there's no reason to give myself a heart attack with heavy snows and stuff during the during the winter. Yeah, it ended up holding, and let me show you the. I think this pasture poultry, the first batch, is me gathering the chickens, and this was also when I was fairly new to flying a drone, so a lot. It's a lot bumpier than I'm drone now. But there's the Katahdin sheep right over there, and this was before I had the water tank on there, but I was gathering the chickens to. Now, another thing with the high tunnel that I could do is get 2 layers of plastic and then blow some air from a fan into like in between the layers of plastic, and that would firm it up quite a bit. Also, I just need to do it way tighter. But this last windstorm, the front doors blew off, the front roll off up doors along the east end and the west end basically blew out. And oh yeah, so this is a feature that I like. I have this extra board that during bad weather, let me go back to it. So this board right here, I have it screwed to the front, and when I would start a batch of birds in February, I would end up putting an extra board on there because the weather was really bad and I didn't want the birds to get affected too bad. But then when it comes time to gather the birds, you can unscrew that and then use that as a board to um, help gather them. The other thing too is this was before I upgraded and used wiggle wire on the ends of the tarps, and that has been a big game changer because when you go to harvest or gather the birds, you can just undo the wiggle wire and um, take the tarp completely off, so it's easier to get to the birds. Yeah, that's the one thing with the Joel Salatin style chicken tractor. I am not sure how you get those birds out very easily unless you have like a net or yeah, I'm not sure. And then Marshall, that's a little bit after we got him. I mean, he's still a puppy there, but so, City Girl Country Heart asked how long I've been raising. Started out in our backyard out in California. Uh, Probably would have been 2014. And then we relocated to Indiana and got our homestead, and we were able to. I first got egg layers, thinking that I was going to make a whole bunch from the eggs, but I mainly had one customer down the road, and that's all the eggs I could really handle. Or that's the amount of eggs I had in supply to sell, and pretty much I'd make $40 and then spend 30 of it on feed each month for my layers. So then that got me thinking, okay, this isn't sustainable. How about I get into meat birds? Because the nice thing with meat birds is once they're in the freezer, no more chores, which is great. Um, but actually, I'm taking 3 years off of raising meat birds, partly because my oldest is 6, and she's not able to really move a chicken tractor. And since this whole hobby farming stuff is on the side and it's not my main profession, it takes a lot of time. So I'm gonna wait till they get a little bit older. And I remembered on this, I jumped and I think I like hit my shin or knee. Oh wait, no, I guess I just slow motioned it for dramatic effect. But yeah, so I think my first year I did 100 birds, and then the most I did in a year was 425, and that would have been 2019. And then this year I raised around, I feel like 275 is probably what I raised. But this year, because of COVID, I wanted to keep my costs down, so I ended up only selling whole chicken birds. Because one year I got the chicken sliced and diced. It was like 147 birds, and it ended up being over $700 to get all those chickens processed. So the general rule of thumb with chicken tractors is that you want, I'd say 1.5 to 2 square feet of space per bird. Now, when they're younger, you can probably put a little bit more in there, because I've had to sort of shift the birds around in order to have them in different areas, depending on what my chicken tractors are available. But yeah, so let's see. This year I did purchase a chicken plucker. And my thought with the chicken plucker was to just be self-reliant. And this was before COVID hit, and that's my wearing my Amish hat. There's a backstory as to why I have an Amish hat, but it does a good job keeping the sun out of the eyes and stuff. And actually, on this video, I had one of my subscribers tell me that I forgot a step in the unboxing and installing it. There's actually rubber thing that goes up in one of these holes, and that is to sort of clean out the feathers as they pile up. So I ended up going back and putting that in before I rented it out to a nearby farm. But I got into about 15 birds, processing them by myself, and that was over, I think, 3 weekends. And just doing it by myself, it took way too long. So that's when I ended up just saying, I'm going to just pay for the state inspected facility near me to do it. But let me put this link in the chat. This is This is a good chicken plucker. It's built very heavy duty, and I think I've had 13 people purchase that through that link, and that ends up sending you over to Amazon, which I get a kickback from um, those things. But let me fast forward here to, yeah, so those are the little fingers that spin, and I on this garden hose spigot, I ended up adding a splitter so that then I could have a spraying garden hose. And I think I started up in slow motion maybe. But yeah, it's a great chicken plucker. Um, Now I would say that my biggest struggle with processing the chickens was actually the scalder. I used a turkey fryer, and it was hard to keep it at the right temperature. I think it needs to be around 145. I don't know. There's a video from Homesteaders of America where Joel Salatin ends up giving the specs of the temperature and all that stuff. And but yeah, there were a few birds that I was processing that I had to um, end up giving to Marshall because my fault starting out. Um, I either over scalded them or over plucked them. But let's see. Let me. There's there's a video I did where I ended up. Oh yeah. So here's the. I'll bring up the video of the chicken tractor setup. If But yeah, this was a nice setup where I had the 15-gallon tank there, then had two chicken waters in there, and here I'm using 3.5-gallon buckets. I don't sell these anymore. I ended up selling them when I made a mistake order. I bought 3.5-gallon buckets instead of 2-gallon buckets, uh, which was my bad. Um, but then here I'm connecting reverse osmosis tubing from there over to here, and yeah, once I switched over to the reverse osmosis tubing, that was a real game changer with the chicken waters because they're kind of like shark bite quick connects, and you can cut them, slice them, dice them, and yeah. So this chicken tractor over here is the John Siskovich chicken tractor. Um, I don't have a link to it, but actually, let me uh, bring it up. Uh, Chicken tractor. Where is it? So John wrote this book, which I'll put a link in the chat. And it's a really good book. There's Randy Kleinman, and I would, before you would build a John Siskovich chicken tractor with these plans, I would recommend checking out Randy Kleinman's video. He shows some tips and tricks in order to make the build process a lot easier. Okay, so I do have my coffee that is done, but I don't know if you can still call it coffee. I got a whole bunch of brown sugar in it, and then I don't know, fancy syrups to put in there. Oh, I did want to mention a little bit. So today started on YouTube the Fix My Pond series, and there's going to be at least 3 parts to the series. But I ended up adding a um, pond aerator that pumps water into my pond. No, right alongside ended up winning the giveaway. And so definitely check out this video with the Fix My Pond series. I plan on having part 2 come out next Tuesday, and it is building the diffuser in for the pond out of 5-gallon buckets, and then part 3 is installing it. Now part 3 has probably the most complex videography I've done in quite some time. It has the Mavic Mini drone in the air. It has the GoPro on my head, and I don't have my Canon with me, but then I had the Canon aiming at me in the boat while I placed everything. And I'm amazed too. It uses so much less energy than what we had before. We had a big fountain. Um, okay, so City Girl Country Heart wants to know what advice I have for anyone that wants to start raising chickens. Um, I would say have a couple laying hens just so that you can explore and get some return. Now, it won't be instantaneously because a lot of breeds take anywhere between 17 and 22 weeks in order to get eggs. So that can be a little frustrating. I would say don't start too large um, because chicken math will go into effect, and yeah, I think the most chickens I've ever had on the farm at one time was probably 300, and that was because I had some layers. I had 2 batches of meat birds, one about ready to go off the farm and one that had just come on the farm. The other thing too is find a good hatchery that's close to you. Now, for my meat birds, I would always use Cackle Hatchery. Uh, I, I felt that the birds did not get as big as the ones from like Tractor Supply, but I felt like that they were so much healthier, and like they would roost if if they had an opportunity. Um, let's see. I have this video that I made in 2018, and I think I have I feel like I might have the 10 by 20 foot chicken tractor that I had made with that. So this is the brand new John Siskovich chicken tractor. So yeah, those half lap joints really do last and make it durable. It's just not very fun to build. Um, Now this, let me see if I bring it up. So yeah, it's just a great feeling, uh, seeing your happy birds on the grass. Let me do some math real quick, and so 5 by 8 is 40. Yeah, so in the John Siskovich chicken tractor, if you want 2 square feet per bird, then you can have 20 birds. And then if you want 1.5 square feet per bird, then you can have 26. But the 8 by 8 ends up being 64 square feet. And if you go 1.5, then you can have 42 birds in the Peterson chicken tractor. If you want to have 2 square feet per bird, then it's 32 birds in the chicken tractor. And then I would say also expect to conservatively lose 10%. I think especially starting out. It's hard to the first batch. So our farmers market would open in first or second week in May, and in order to have meat birds ready by then, I'd have to start them in February, and we would have snow or just so the first batch I would typically maybe take birds 4 weeks in the brooder, depending on the weather, and that was not ideal, but I just couldn't get them out on the grass any sooner a lot of the times. So that first batch is just very difficult because you haven't sold any. You're having to pay for all the feed, and sometimes even before May would come, I would start maybe my second batch so that I could have some birds ready. So you're really putting a lot of your eggs in one basket. Now, after my first year, what I did in the fall was I sold pre-orders. And typically the deal was if you so my initial pre-order deal was just a flat fee per bird. I think it was like $10 a bird or something. And then that money would be set aside and help pay for the first batch of the new year. Now, the last time I did pre-orders, I did reserve your birds $5 down per bird, and then lock in a reduced price. So this last year I sold pasture poultry for $4.50 a pound for whole bird. So my pre-order customers, I locked them in at $4 a pound by them investing $5 per bird. And then it also gave you a good idea of how many birds were already potentially sold. And I like that hybrid model a lot better because you could have some birds that are 3 pounds or some birds that are 6. And if you're just selling them at a flat rate price for the pre-orders, you're really shortchanging yourself. The other thing too is you kind of have to gradually work up your customer base. I felt like it was just this year that I had a good grasp on repeat customers, and I remember this one lady. She came up to my booth and she said that I had some of the chicken that I had purchased the previous week, and it just took me back to that time when my grandma was making chicken, like, and it tasted like real chicken. Now I use Cornish cross, which they are a fast-growing bird, but them getting to be raised on grass really makes the difference. I also feed them non-GMO feed, and the goal is for them to just have one bad day on the farm. Um, Now, I did want to mention this back here was a modified carport from Menards. I think I got it for $70, and then I added some wooden supports and structures, and now I cut it in half and had part of it be a sheep shelter. The other part I kind of scrapped, but I still have the parts and stuff. And then I think before one winter I was just needing to move it, and uh, so I was just going gung ho with the tractor, and stuff started falling off. So it's now sort of in disrepair. But the sheep use it as a shelter in one of the pastures. I may try to mount it back in the woods so that they can have some shelter, additional shelter. But now this chicken coop I got for $100 at an Amish auction, and this is a real pain to try to find, to try to catch some birds. I had thought about maybe lifting it up and adding 4 feet of post to the bottom of it in order to make it a lot better. Now, another thing I could do is there could be like 2 sections on the top that could flip up in order for me to stand in there, but um, it is not great for trying to catch birds. Um, so there I'm talking about the non-GMO feed, and just really I use this video to just explain to new customers what's all involved with pasture poultry and why it's worth the difference. This is a better shot of this large chicken tractor. So another thing that you can do, so this one was a 10 by 20, and for one season I put some electric poultry netting off the front of it, and I had some guard geese that were in there, and then the idea was 100 birds would be out roaming around with the poultry netting, and then I would lock them up at night in that, and that seemed to work okay. The downside with that large chicken tractor is I had to fire up the Kubota tractor every day to move it, and that was not fun, especially on Saturday mornings when they were cold and wet, and just was not fun. You'll also notice right here is one of those blinking lights, those predator alert things, and those are nice to just sort of screw on to your chicken tractors various. That way, if you're ever walking back in the pasture and you don't have your lights on and you're just walking by the moonlight, then you don't run into them. And then you can just look out and get an idea of where they're at. And then they also help keep predators away. But yeah, so do you guys have any other questions? Oh, I did want to mention that since I am taking 3 years off of raising pasture poultry for selling at the farmers market, I am trying to ramp up and become a hatchery. So I'm still working on getting my MPIP certification, which that will allow me to ship out baby chicks through the mail, and because if I don't do that, then I will end up with way too many chickens. And I'm focusing on Australorps, which are the all black with a little green sheen to them. and then I have Bantam red Cochins. Now with the Bantam red Cochins, I um, plan on having some rental packages for senior citizens. My thought is with the Bantams, you don't need the full size um, eggs for a meal, especially if you live alone or such. And then I don't have to build as large of coop for the rental. And actually, it just reminds me this Saturday I need to pick up one of the chicken rentals that I have out. Um, rent. So I'm an affiliate of rentachicken.net. Let me bring it up. And this is a national website. An alternative is rentthechicken.com. Oh yes, the Australorps are dual purpose, and the roosters that I'm breeding, they're really big roosters, and then the hens are great egg layers. So the reason why I went with rentachicken.net is they have a um, smaller percentage of royalty compared to Rent the Chicken, and so let's see. So if you go here in the Indiana, central and southern Indiana region for the United States, and then this is what the rental package or coop looks like, which it's very heavy duty compared to some of the stuff I've seen with Rent the Chicken. Because this coop has been through 3 or 4 rentals, and it's very heavy duty. It's based off of the Anna White A-frame style chicken coop, and I have it modified so that you can do everything from a standing position. So this flips down, this flips down, this flips down, and then the door over here has a latch that when you go over to this side, you can pull on a stiff wire and it will release the gate latch. Then there's a cable up here that you can pull down and stick it onto a nail or a screw there, and then that will keep the door flap open. And then right behind this one is where the nest boxes are, and then over here there's a hook that you can hang an farmer bred automatic chicken water bucket and a hanging feeder. That reminds me, I do have chicken feeders now. Let me yeah, so I sent one over to SSL Family Dad, which if you're not following his channel, I definitely recommend. He's a great resource for homesteading. And this is a picture of the chicken feeder. Now, the feed port that I use is from Rent-A-Coop, and I put it on a 4-gallon bucket. One item that I'm working on exploring is an everyday feeder. It has the adult feed port on there, but then it has one for 1 to 5 weeks, or 1 to 4 weeks, and then 5 to 12 weeks old. And then the idea is that you could buy one feeder and basically feed your chickens at whatever stage as long as they're over a week old. Which, if they're a week, you'd probably still have them in the brooder and stuff. And then as they grow older, you have to adjust the height of it. But I at least wanted to diversify so that I don't just have 2-gallon chicken water buckets, but I also wanted to have feeder. And hopefully next year I'll become a wholesaler with Rent-A-Coop's products, so then I'll be able to put them more affordably on my website. Okay, so the chicken rental packages, I think the pricing that I have is the options are 2 or 4 hens for 3 or 6 months. So 3-month basic, which is the 2 hens, the rental is $300, but then you have to do a down payment, so it ends up being $400 for 3 months. And then if you want to buy it out for an additional $550, you keep everything. Or sorry, you pay an additional $150 and then you get to keep everything. So these are the running total prices. So the deluxe comes with 4 chickens, an automatic chicken water bucket, 200 pounds of feed, and this one's for 6 months. And so when you're done with the 6-month rental for $200 more, then you get to keep everything. And I started off with a $100 down payment. That means that they're serious, and then I send them off a book I have over here. This book I definitely recommend. It is the Stories Guide to Raising Chickens. It has everything that you could ever want to know about chickens in there. Well, it's 8 o'clock, so I'm probably going to wrap it up. But thank you very much for joining this live stream, and congrats to Ride Alongside for winning the heated chicken water bucket and the Clyde's garden planter. I did want to mention the Chef Carter's Cooking Corner. She asked, are you planning on raising fish like catfish? No, I don't plan on raising fish, but I do plan on using the fish poo from the pond as sort of like aquaponics in the high tunnel, or at least have that option. So that's one. Joining me on this adventure of homesteading, and be on the lookout for the Fix My Pond